All right. So now we have council reports. Councilmember Buckland.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We had the dedication of our levee repair projects that have gone from Thermalito After Bay all the way down to Star Bend. Just for everybody's information, this is done through an assessment of the property owners in Sutter County. It is in the millions of dollars. In fact, it's in the multiple hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to do this project, and it improves the safety throughout Butte County and Sutter County all the way to the south end of Yuba City. When we're talking about how many dollars, it's about $380 million. There's been a tremendous amount of work that has been done on this project. And following the 1955 floods of Yuba City and the loss of life, this is the most significant infrastructure repair that has been done to our levee systems since that time. So there was a dedication that occurred a couple weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, down at Shanghai Bend, well attended by members of Congress, members of this council, and members of the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency. And we are excited about where this will take us in the future and what ongoing maintenance of these facilities will look like so they don't fall into disrepair as they have in the past. Also attended the Yuba City graduation and also the River Valley High School graduation. A couple, I think, really important things to take away from those graduations are the number of individuals from both of those high schools that have engaged in recruitment efforts with the United States military, the various different branches of our military. And I think it's exciting to see that we still have youth that are that believe that this country is a great country and they can serve at a higher level and certainly have something that they can provide back to this great country. Also, the scholarships that have been handed out in the last couple months to both of these schools exceed $3 million in school and scholarships for continuing education, both Yuba City High School and RV. I think RV's topped out at about $2 million. Yeah. It was amazing to hear these numbers. But I think it's remarkable that our students have an opportunity, whether they choose to go to higher education or simply engage in current workforce development, that they have opportunities that are out in front of them, and there are funding opportunities for them. And then the last little bit, we received information on Monday. Probably one of the biggest funding opportunities through the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency was a $50 million funding that is in what's called New Start project through the Army Corps of Engineers. And this is about a 3-year effort to be able to come up with this funding. How does this funding come up? It comes up through efforts made back in Washington, D.C. by members of whether it be the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency, council members, or whoever is back advocating in Washington, D.C. in the halls of Congress to be able to come up with the money. How is it done? This is a first-time effort ever where the Army Corps of Engineers potentially is going to turn their project over to a local jurisdiction or to Sutter Butte Flood Control, who has proven that they can do these projects cheaper, faster, and more efficiently than the Army Corps of Engineers can do. Why did this come about? Well, let me share with you just my takeaway from this. There's public information out there about how much it costs for a council member or a member of Sutter Butte Flood Control to be able to go back to Washington, D.C. to advocate. There's been false information put out that it costs $6,000 a person to be able to go. That's not true. What the truth is, it's between $3,700 and about $4,500, depending on the duration that you're back there and working with members of Congress, the Office of Budget and Management and Budget back in Washington, D.C., all of the different entities with Army Corps, with NOAA, with Federal Fish and Game, all of the other components that it takes to get this move forward. It takes time, it takes advocacy, and it takes dedication to being able to do it. So when we look at what the cost is, and they're receiving of $50 million to the south or to the southern reaches of the Sutter Basin, which also controls floodwaters back into the southern portion of Yuba City. This is a strategic piece of funding that will improve public safety throughout our area. So don't be swayed by misleading information. There are times where it costs a little bit of money to be able to move forward and to be able to advocate and move funding into a channel that is the most efficient way to be able to get the job done. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Cardoza.
Okay, we'll start off with meetings this week. We attended a special joint meetings with our board and commissioners last week. We had all our groups all get together. We all talked and got a game plan for the future through the mayor here. Attended the Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency board meeting, the Gilsizer Drainage Board meeting, and our Planning Commission meeting. For city events, we had a busy couple of weeks. Starting off, I attended the swearing in of, we have 3 brand new police officers, Tamara Leith, Winston Nunes, and a Stefan Bisland. Attended the summer at City Hall introductions and this evening's events with the students that we have in our audience. We attended a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago for the Southside Park. We upgraded and we have brand new playground equipment. We had ribbon cutting by the mayor. Also attended the River Valley and Yuba City High School graduation ceremony. Attended the opening of the Sutter Theater Gallery art exhibit. The Vice Mayor and I attended the dinner theater at the museum. Like Vice Mayor was saying earlier, people say there's nothing to do in this community. That if you have something you wanted, or not, I didn't mean it that way. Wait a minute, I said that wrong. There's, how did I say it? I'll let you finish it off here. I went off wrong here. Anyway, it was a wonderful time. Great time. Great actors. Wonderful dinner. I'll let the vice mayor help me on that one when he's up. Attended the Flag Day at Oakview Insurance. You could turn in your old flags and get brand new ones. Attended the Valley Muffler Annual Car Show for the Ride Out Cancer Center. All proceeds went to it. Attended the summer stroll, and I entered into the hot wings eating competition, and I got lucky. I won it this year. Paid for it dearly, but it was a fun time. Attended the weekly farmers market at our fountain. Went to the dedication with Sutter Buttes with council, and then last but not least, for chamber events the last couple of weeks, we had a chamber ambassador social last night, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Cleveland.
Thank you very much. It has been a relatively busy time, especially with exciting graduations for the previous seniors, and I know we have incoming seniors and juniors out here mostly right now. So next year at this time, you'll be in the celebration of all this. Anticipation, yeah, hopefully he says. He's the comedian, by the way. Started off with, let's see, the Yuba City graduation I went to. Then I have had some family health emergencies that kind of cut me out of a lot of things that I could have volunteered to go to the last couple of weeks. But I did attend the ribbon cutting at the Southside Park, which is Wilbur Park. They've redone that, and the kids there are absolutely ecstatic at the changes and the stuff that's been done there. It's hard to get them off the stuff at night now. They enjoy it so much. Of course, the introduction, Summer at City Hall. I was here for that on Monday morning. Then moving on to the special workshop that was mentioned. We had the boards and commissions get together and just discuss how we could interact a little bit more, how we can, they could actually promote themselves a little bit more in the community and try to get out there and let people know what they actually do and talk it up and let people know. Also, Centerview Flood Control Agency meeting. Councilman Buckland did mention some of that. He did a good job. Been on that now for almost since its beginning, been involved in 2007. And the fact that we have achieved what we had was we were told when we first really went after it and had a plan that we would never get this done by many different people. We wouldn't be able to accomplish it because it's the policies and procedures that are out there at federal level and the state don't match. And so that it would be nearly impossible for us to get it done. And here we are with an over $300 million project, now going with another 50, and other projects in the future being done and celebrated on the 9th at the Shanghai Park. And then, of course, out on the riverside of it. It was phenomenal. What an accomplishment. The team, there was hundreds of us, literally, working in different ways in the community, electeds, appointeds, state level. We even had Congress members lobbying there in Washington, D.C. to make sure that this would be accomplished. And to their credit, the Corps of Engineers have believed us. They've given us the opportunity to be the best partners they've ever had on a project. And we have, in this community, and the politicians and the people have proven ourselves to be trustworthy. And that's a hard thing for federal government to concede to, and it's literally a miracle what they're doing. But it's all because we as a community and leadership have been faithful, done what we said we were going to do, and under budget without throwing stones at the ones that have a tendency to go over budget. We have been great partners for them, and we're thankful that they recognize us for that. And thank the community and the ones involved for helping us to make this happen. With that, I was at Mosquito Vector. You guys know what mosquitoes are. We actually have a group that goes out and sprays out in the fields and stuff, mosquitoes, and for that. And they also have what's called little mosquito fish, which they raise tens of millions of these little mosquito fish every year and put them in ponds, streams, little canals, little places where, even in pools that people leave unattended, well, there's still water in them. They'll go put these fish in there to kill the mosquitoes. And I have noticed this year that there's a very low count of mosquitoes, which I am very thankful for. I've had one bite this year, and I've been outside a lot. With that, I'm done.
Great, thank you. Next we have Vice Mayor Harris.
All right, a lot of the events have already been mentioned, so I won't belabor those points. However, I did want to, one thing I was going to mention about the graduations is right on point with Councilmember Buckland, is our young people who are off to the military. I tell you, one thing that's, especially for you folks, that's foreign to you, is that but when I was your age, it was a concern, but these folks are joining our military during wartime. That's a big deal, because they could be leave boot camp and they're off to who knows where, in harm's way. I think that is I got goosebumps thinking about it. That's very admirable. And one thing that I was proud to be a part of was the community-wide standing ovation when we announced those folks.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That was just
at both
beautiful.
graduations.
And I can't respect them anymore. So good for them. Same thing with the scholarships, John, since you mentioned it. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot of money here investing in our young people. And they worked hard for it, and they earned it, and I wish them the very best. Just as far as events go, I've spent some time in Texas. Shocker. Grandkids out that way. I managed to kidnap one and bring one back with me. I haven't got a call yet, so they haven't noticed. But the Army Corps, I did attend the Sabufka dedication down there, and much like was already said, it's unprecedented that they're going to trust a local agency and local folks to do work that they would normally be in charge of, because they really held their power and their authority close to their vest for a long time. Big deal. And one of the many reasons why that is the case is because relationships we've built. We sit, and Councilmember Buckland and I sat and had a good conversation with a colonel in the Army. And those relationships that are built, many of which began on our trip to Washington, D.C. You're sitting in an informal setting, and that is why we were there. And with a couple $3,000 a person, translated in one example, $50 million we would not have normally had. So I think that's a good example of a good investment return. So I won't go on any further. We've been busy 2 weeks, always is. The calendar's full. We're out there representing our city, representing our folks, meeting people, and I think we're in a really positive momentum right now, and I'm happy about that. So thank you very much. Okay, the museum thing. I wasn't going to mention it because it wasn't part of our council stuff while we were there. It was just friends inviting me to go with them, and so I'll go try to solve the murder mystery. But a comment was made that, some folks you hear out and about that there's nothing to do in Yuba City. I can understand perhaps we have some room to improve for the 13, 14, the teenage group. Perhaps, but there's some good opportunity over on, what's the name of the street? I'm trying to make a reference to Millennium Kart Racing, but I can't. Spiva. There's a few things out there. Also Goldrush Billiards, but this is not a commercial for our businesses. However, if you are over 21 and you don't know how to read the newspaper or something, and you say there's nothing to do in Yuba City, you got a problem, because there's so much to do almost every weekend. It's a good place to be. So thank you for that.
Thank you for helping me.
So other than that,
All right. Well, speaking of things to do, our Youth Commission has put together some amazing events for participation. So, go and check those out. They have a whole list of things they're going to be doing this year as well. Speaking of Youth Commission, so we had our joint commission meeting, and that's bringing all of our commissioners that are appointed through the city council. This was the first time that we've done this, but the concern came while we were interviewing is that goals and priorities weren't really channeled down to all of the commissions, so they don't know what the overall arching goals of the city are. So it was really important to give them that overview so that they can go out and set up their own strategic plans and then put together some tactical plans to implement in order to reach those goals. So the feedback that we've received is that it was a great way to get that information out, and they really enjoyed it, and they hope to see future ones with those. So we will continue with that later on. As far as graduations and scholarships, I duplicate the information, just phenomenal. Graduations are fun. I enjoy it. And rooting all the kids going on with their futures. Scholarships, just want to say that my daughter graduated last year. She is back, accomplished her first year in college. And speaking of scholarships, she was one of those recipients that received $96,000 to attend. So you students, you guys are getting ready to get some applications in there. Don't overlook those scholarships. They are out there. Your counselors, the folks in the school have all of that information. Reach out. The money is out there, and you can get a lot. So you can talk to Ariana, I'm sure, during your program to get more information as well. But congratulations to all of the graduates, and new endeavors and new journeys. So go get it. Levy dedication, we were all present. Wonderful to see that actually happen. Let's see, what else? Southside Park. That was a great time. I had little kids like hugging my leg, and I have no idea who they were, but they were so excited too. Yeah, I pretty much wanted to take a few of them home. Kidnap them. They were just so cute. But yeah, oh my God, they were running around that merry-go-round and down the slides and up and down the swings, as some of our youth commission folks were there as well. But a lot of fun. As far as any other thing, I just want to mention, since our students are here, these are our Summer at City Hall students who went through an application process, went through the interview. They have been, oh my gosh, overwhelming in this program with so many ideas and concepts they are going to talk about next week during their mock city council meeting. So for those of you who don't know, their mock city council meeting is open to the public. Let's support them. It is Thursday at 2:00 in the afternoon. They will present their projects and things that they have been working on as a mock city council meeting. So they'll have their staff reports and so forth. So we're really excited. They're excited, I think a little nervous as well, but I'm sure the jitters will go away eventually. But right following after the mock city council will also be their graduation, where they'll get their certifications. They will also get their credit for being in this program. So come and join and support them. They've been working really hard this week, and they will continue this following week and present. So excited for you guys. Next week also, I will be at the annual mayor's conference. And there, the reason I am going is because I am sitting on a panel on engaging youth. And so we are actually representing our very own program so that other cities can build around it. So it's been set as an example across. So yes, we're building, so you guys will be out there, being represented for what you guys are doing. So congratulations on that. With that being said, I don't have anything else. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.